Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Respect Coin. I, as always, am your host, Michael Bolling, and we are always presented by Wind Creek Chicago Southland. Are you ready for your winning moment? Find it at Wind Creek Chicago Southland, where the action never stops. Play the hottest table games, enjoy the newest slots, and celebrate big jackpots at Wind Creek Chicago Southland. There's a win waiting for you around every corner. It's a big episode. Big episode. We are introducing a co-host. I teased it last week. Really excited. Doing a little drum roll. Welcome, Kevin Lapka, my boy, to Respect Coin. And we are going to Respect Coin together. It's been a long time coming. I've been really excited to kind of expand what this show means and how we approach it. I think season one felt like, you know, we were flying by the seat of our pants, but I had the most fun when I had a co-host. So bringing him in, the young buck, Kevin Lapka. How we doing?
Man, let's do it, man. Ready to go. Season 2. No, excited, man. I mean, this is a legend right here in the betting space, in the sports media space, Michael Bolling. So, man, I know we're going to have a lot of fun. The energy that we have outside of this room, yes. I think we're going to bring it in here. And it's going to be really entertaining for everybody that's watching this and really just make this a good, entertaining, fun, hour, 30 minutes that we do this podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fun, man. Again, like I love bouncing stuff off of you. We've been placing hella bets since the beginning. You remind me of a younger me when I was just betting parlays every single day. You always have a parlay cooked somehow. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. So first, let's kind of intro you to like the betting audience. I know you've done a lot of stuff in the betting space. How'd you get into betting? What's your betting style? Talk to the people.
Yeah. So I used to work at 𝗵𝘀𝗶𝘀𝗋, which is now known as the BetMGM network. They transferred over there last year. So I was there for a couple years doing a lot of producing for a lot of their daily shows, some of their weekend shows behind the scenes. So kind of got into the space through that, and that was in my previous job. And learned a little bit more about like the intricacies and like the details of betting and all that kind of stuff. And like for as far as what I do, like my betting style, like I'm not gonna act like I'm a big time sharp and that I'm betting like huge wagers every single day and I'm putting thousands of dollars. Like that's just, I mean, I don't really talk about my unit sizes like that or anything. Like it's casual, it's fun, and like you might really like a market, you might really like a game or a team or a player, and like putting a nice little bet on it is just like a way to validate your opinion. You know what I mean?
It's fun, man.
And like I think that's why like it's just fun. That gambling can be fun and be casual in that sense, and it can be entertaining and make the games more engaging and just have fun with it. So that's what I would say my style is, and that's where I kind of come from in the betting space. Is just like, how can you make this fun? How can you have a good time with it, but still like be smart with how you're doing it as well?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think one of the big things, and you know this because we've talked about it a ton, is like this isn't like a get rich quick scheme, right? Like if you happen to hit a bet, it's fun. You're doing it with your buddies. You have a take that you think is going to come through, and then you put your money on it, and when it hits, you feel great. When it doesn't, you feel kind of dumb. But that's like the fun in it, right? So like nothing changes on this show, right? Like don't consider myself a sharp. I am obsessed with like the data and the numbers, probably more than a lot of people that I know. So it's kind of fun for me to like find these numbers and like present them in a way where it's like, if you were thinking about betting this is the way I lean. I'm never someone that's like, if you're going to fade what I play, I'm mad. I don't care. Yeah. Like this is literally about having fun. It's not about paying the mortgage. So it's going to be fun to have you along for the ride. We're going to have a lot of fun. We both are very much in the weeds on the data, and we love to kind of back, our bets with analytics. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really pumped to have you here. So let's get into it. First, I got to talk to the people about my stolen base bet. That cashed. It did. I don't know how it cashed. PCA has been struggling so bad, but he finally got a hit against the Cardinals, stole that base. So we cashed that. But we still have one pending. And I have good news to everyone who may have tailed. Miguel Vargas is back for the White Sox.
He's back.
He's played the last couple games, and we just need 2 home runs. Am I going to cash this bet? I need 2 home runs before the end of the season.
Yes. Vargas was hot and then kind of up and down. He's slumping a little bit. Get back into the mix. You got what, like 40 games, 30,
Something
40
like
games
that.
left on the schedule. 2 in 40. I think you'll get there.
2 in 40, but it was an oblique. You know about oblique injuries. Like if he tweaks something, it can linger.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he hits a couple in the next 2 weeks, so I just don't even have to sweat about it. It's $100 to win $375. It felt pretty sharp before the season. Obviously, no one had huge expectations for Vargas, but I think he exceeded, especially for a long period of time, what the White Sox were even expecting they were going to get from him.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was phenomenal in the early portions of the season before that injury and everything and before the ups and downs. But, like, this is a young player who's still trying to figure out his space and his way in this game and on this team. And, you know, I think they see him as a guy who's still going to be a part of their nucleus going forward with all these young guys that are coming along with Colston and 𝗏 and all of them. So he's got an opportunity right now to, like, build some momentum. Like, the White Sox are building momentum and, like, hit a couple more bombs, play well into September. And, like, next year you're talking about that core is, like, something.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number was, like, 20 for, like, big plus money, and it would have really nuked this bet. But I'm like, 15 feels like a good round number for his first full season with the team. So it would be good for me. It would be good for him. So Miguel Vargas, lock in. We need 2 home runs. All right. The topic that everyone is talking about in the world, bro.
Come on now.
Taylor Swift on New Heights. Taylor Swift on New Heights. First of all, did you watch the interview? What did you think?
I watched it. I got through about like 30 minutes of it. I didn't get the full hour. Yeah. I didn't watch it live. I watched it back this morning. Very impressed by her first podcast performance and by the way that they conducted the interview. And just like, I guess my biggest takeaway is this, right? I feel like it felt like it dehumanized her in such a positive way. You know what I mean? And like in Travis as well. There was one part that stood out to me, which I think a lot of people can connect with, when she was talking about reclaiming her masters and how it was a big deal for her, and she wanted to go tell Travis about it. She went into his room and she said that Travis was just like playing video games and he literally took the headset off and was like, "Hey boys, I'll be right back." Like haven't we all like done that? You know what I mean? And like this is one of the biggest moments of her life.
Exactly.
And bro is just playing video games. Like it's I love it.
It's so funny. I actually referenced that last night when we were watching it, because it's like that's the reel that I don't think we've been able to see from her in so long. Like I remember when the Masters came out and everyone was freaking out, and I couldn't figure out why it was like such a big deal. Yeah. But listening to her talk about it, it did humanize her. It did make her feel like she's just one of the girls, or like we all have friends that are very similar to what she is. Not that like they're megastars and like great songwriters, but it made her feel very relatable. And I think that that's something that the general public's been missing. Also, if you're someone who's like, I hate Taylor Swift, like I used to be someone who was on the other side of the fence. I didn't necessarily hate her, but I'm like, I just don't understand why it's that big a deal. And now when you see stuff like this, it's like she's wholesome, she's funny, she's got like one-liners. Like she would be a good part of anybody's friend group. Yeah. And that was like really refreshing for me. So yeah, I thought it was really fun. Travis Kelce, 100% hit the jackpot. Like the thing I loved most about him is like he very openly, like 12 times in the episode, was like, "I'm the luckiest guy in the world." Yeah, and he is.
That's amazing. And just like the story is crazy. Just like the whole, like when she talked about in the beginning, like Travis had no intention, like he didn't go through logistics of like meeting her that day at the show.
He's like, "I'm just gonna take the
elevator down because I know people at Arrowhead," and it's just
like, bro, no, it does not work like that.
Absolutely zero game from his end in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really cool. And then there was one part too, real quick, and then we can talk about the betting portion of this. She was talking about when they drafted Xavier Worthy, she was just like with her friends, and like they drafted Xavier Worthy, and she was just like screaming like, "The Chiefs just got the fastest guy in the draft!" Like she's all in.
She's all in,
and like that's kind of sick. Like that's really good for the game. That's good for the sport. Like that's really cool. And I'm in on a great episode, great podcast, awesome.
She's really great. I think that there will be more fans of her, if that's even possible, after this, because we did see that side of her that I don't think anyone ever saw. But making some fake prop bets. Also, one last thing. The Bears are a part of the lore.
Okay, how?
That first game, so you may not have gotten to it, but they said the first time she went to a game was against the Bears at Arrowhead, and the Bears got crushed.
Yeah.
But the story was she walked into the stadium with all of Travis's buddies through the front gates.
Really?
Like with everyone. Really? Like she walked in with Gen Pop. It's crazy. And she said no one noticed her. She had like a mask on or whatever and walked through, and nobody noticed her. And that's when Travis was like, Bro, she's walking in with the boys. Like, that's sick.
That's so. I got so much respect for that. And hey, I mean, shout out the Bears because if the Chiefs don't play well that game, maybe
could be different.
𝗭𝐿𝐶 has 0 receptions.
I don't even think he
like,
played the fourth quarter. We were so bad.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough one.
All right, so I'm gonna tee up some fake prop bets. These are not bets that you can find anywhere. They're not available anywhere. But I was locked in on the episode last night. So first things first. Over under 340.5 days until Travis and Taylor get engaged.
Yeah, I think it's under. I think it's under. I don't know. I mean, it makes too much sense. They're both 35. The momentum's there. Everyone wants that moment where he wins the Super Bowl and he proposes after the game. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to get there this year, but regardless, like I think that'll happen. I'm going under.
I'm going under 2. I really do believe that this is something that's going to happen potentially this year. I will respect the fact that she just is launching an album. He's going to be in season. So I did 340 days because that would be the start of next training camp. So if they do get to the Super Bowl and they have the fairy tale moment, I don't know if it's going to be over or under. I think under, but I'm just saying, if you believe in conspiracies, you should be betting on the Eagles to play the Chiefs again. You should be betting the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl again. All of that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Because who knows? I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, and I don't think this stuff is rigged. But a lot of people dumping smut on the Chiefs' name these days, dude.
Yeah.
People saying the dynasty's over.
I don't
really believe that.
I don't believe that either. I mean, people. We can have this conversation all the time. People hate dynasties, but at the same time, like, they really love them.
Gotta have them.
More people will watch the Super Bowl if the Chiefs are in it.
Right.
But, like, it's at a point where they want to see the Chiefs fail, and people are going to find reasons to believe that they're not going to be good again. And that's just, like, not the case. Like,
No.
Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. Andy Reid is inevitable. They're going to be in the mix. They're going to be in the playoffs. And once
they're going to get there
playoffs,
once they're there.
Yeah, once they're there and they're playing in the postseason, it could happen.
So you're saying under.
I'm saying under.
I'm saying under as well. You
All right.
heard it here first. Congratulations, Taylor and Travis, on your engagement. Whenever it happens, we called it. Okay, second, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
So we know that Taylor Swift is the master of Easter eggs. We've talked a little bit about it off camera. I don't know if anyone noticed in the background of their shot last night, there was a Lombardi trophy on its side. So Taylor Swift, halftime of the Super Bowl performance. I'm giving you plus 250 for Taylor, minus 250 for the field.
These are non-actionable odds?
Non-actionable odds. No one has it. Do you think Taylor's doing the Super Bowl halftime show?
I'm going to say yes. I think she's doing it. Look,
Let's go.
I mean, it makes too much sense. So here's why. It makes more sense for her to do it while 𝗭𝐿𝐶's still in the league.
For sure.
I think. And this could very well be his last year.
100%.
We don't know about the Chiefs being in it and her performing like that. We don't know about that. If she performs the Super Bowl halftime show, it is the most watched Super Bowl ever, guaranteed. That's
Guaranteed.
a lock, right? If you want to talk about conspiracies, there's that, to it. And also, we get this announcement in September every year. It's coming in the next, couple of weeks, mid-September, late September. We got Edgar in the back just absolutely shaking his head. Our producer doesn't think it's going to happen.
He doesn't think it's happening.
The momentum is there. This album comes out October 3rd. If there were ever to be a time, if you're the NFL, how can we capitalize? How can we make it happen? It's now. The only thing is, this is almost like the craziest thing to say. Yes, it's about money. She almost feels too big for the Super Bowl. Is that weird to say? Like, I'm being so for real.
She 100% is. I agree with you on that front. But again, all those reasons you mentioned, to me, makes it feel like a layup. Also, you have to think, like, they really don't put people in that position for the Super Bowl halftime show unless they have something that they want to promote. She just dropped an album, right? So it's coming out in October. You'll have some runway. But you think about the amount of eyeballs you're going to increase. Like, the NFL doesn't need her to do it, but they can only stand to benefit greatly from it. Like, there was some nuggets in that episode where she was, like, telling people how she loves football now. Like, that's very relatable for a lot of women in the world. Like, we don't need to care, how many first downs the team has, but we do care that somebody really loves their boyfriend or, like, there's an emotional attachment, right? So you're talking about California, outside. I saw a rumor people are always trying to uncover the Easter egg, but someone's like, is there parallel between orange and California. I'm like, I don't understand what that means.
Here we go.
But
what is the Super Bowl logo colors?
Yeah, right. Like I have no idea. But it feels like if there were ever a moment, like I almost feel like if she doesn't do it this year, she may never do it.
Yeah, agreed.
And she would be fine. Like I don't think that it would hurt her popularity one bit. She definitely doesn't have to do it. Edgar makes a really good point. Like she's too big for it. But let's say the Chiefs do, like, the conspiracies are all out there.
Well, that's where it gets scary, though, because if you're the league, right, and you want to avoid the conspiracies.
Right.
She's announces the performer in September. The Chiefs end up being in the Super Bowl. Chiefs double magic. We know the narrative is there already. People are going to just be like, they rigged it to get the Chiefs to the Super Bowl so that she can be the halftime performer when Travis is playing. You know what I mean? Like, those conversations will 1,000% be had on the internet if it were to line up that way.
Yeah.
As much as it would be beneficial for the league, people would be like, oh, come on, this is scripted, right? Where's the script? Come on, give me the script, you know?
I agree with you. I think that this it's like a seminal moment for her. If she wants to do it and they offer it to her, I think she will.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Lombardi in the background actually had any Easter egg nugget.
Was it like a real Lombardi?
It was a Lombardi, and it was on its side.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
The Swifties are after it.
So I'm also with you. I'm taking the plus 250. I think she's doing it.
Cool.
And if she doesn't, and we get 𝗬𝗏, we'll be fine anyway. Because that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, 𝗬𝗏's an awesome. I saw her at Lollapalooza a couple of years ago. Great
Unbelievable
performer.
Show.
Great performer.
All right, last topic before we get into some Bears futures. John Mateer. Yeah. Everyone knows the story at this point. This guy. Wow. Okay, first of all, PSA. I'm looking at my camera. PSA, if you don't have your Venmo transaction set to private, I don't know what you are doing with your life. Come on, bro. This guy. So if you're not aware, John Mateer is the starting quarterback for Oklahoma Sooners in college football this year. And he is under fire because he had some Venmo transactions that were very obviously sports gambling. Now you can BS a BS. You can't BS a BSer, in my opinion. The transactions read, what did it say? Sports gambling, and in parentheses it said USC versus UCLA. So not only are you telling on yourself, like you're being extremely specific.
Yeah.
So this guy's in trouble, and his statement really made me laugh. I'm gonna read part of it because I think it's hilarious. If you have it up, please just give the people what. This is the funniest thing ever. He calls it, the allegations I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in questions, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. Like, are you kidding me, dude? This is very much my dog ate my homework. And I can't stand, like, I really would love for one day somebody to be like, yeah, I did it. Like, I was betting on the game.
Well,
like, why would
open admission is trouble for him?
Yeah, but it's not like he's not in trouble already. Dude.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
It's so obvious. Yeah. If it was like every time you did a pizza emoji, like then you can kind of look. You got it up, dude. The dates literally match up.
Yeah, they do. They do match up.
He'd be paid. Yeah. I wonder.
He's
in trouble.
Keep that Venmo on private.
Keep your Venmo private. If you're an athlete at a college and you're listening to this, please don't get in trouble. Yeah. Like, just not worth it, bro.
Not worth it.
You're going to have plenty time after you're done playing to bet on whatever you want. It is not worth it. The eye in the sky sees everything.
That's right.
John Mateer. Honestly, good for me as a Michigan fan. He may miss the second game of the season when Michigan
Oklahoma,
plays.
Michigan,
yeah.
too? Wow.
Could be nice for me.
Okay.
All right, let's get into what we really came here for. Again, super pumped to have Kevin Lapka in the mix. We're talking Bears futures bets for 25-26. So I've scoured FanDuel. I've scoured DraftKings. There's some discrepancies in the numbers. So we're going to give you some of the best totals for you to target. And obviously, I've made a parlay, season-long parlay. So we'll get to that as well. But let's start with where we should start. Caleb Williams, year 2. We're all fans of his. We all have really high hopes for him. We all think that he, with Ben Johnson, could take another step in his development and hopefully be someone that is our quarterback for the next 15 years. His totals are as such. For pass yards, we have over-under 3,625 yards on FanDuel, minus 114. But if you go over to DraftKings, you can get it at 3,600.5, and that's minus 115. So if you're betting Caleb Williams pass yards, my advice, go bet it on DraftKings. You're getting a better number. Do you think he goes over or under this total, 3,600 yards?
Yeah, before we get into all of the numbers, I think people sometimes will look at that and be like, why is it so low? The books will always lower it a little bit because of injury circumstance.
For
sure. So that's just a caveat for all these numbers that we go through. They're all going to appear low.
Right.
You know what I mean? But this does feel particularly low for me. And I'll tell you why. Last year, 3,541 yards.
Right.
Right?
He was right there.
Here's what you ask yourself, okay? You have a brand new, potentially top 5 best left guard in football.
Yep.
In Joe Tooney. You get a new right guard. You get a new, very good quality center. You get maybe the best offensive coordinator in the NFL. You get a high quality starting tight end you drafted 9th overall.
Yep.
You get Luther Bird in the 2nd round. Is all of that worth to you 84 extra yards? I mean,
when you
again,
put it like that, it makes a lot of sense.
Played 17 games last year. Played all 17, right? Will he play all 17 this year? We don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Even if he doesn't, I mean, I think he gets there pretty easily. Look at Jared Goff in the 3 years under Ben Johnson. 4,400 yards in 22. 4,523. 4,624, right?
That's a lot, man. I didn't know Jared Goff was putting up 4,600
over
yards
4K easily in those 3 years. There were 6 games last year Caleb Williams had under 150 yards.
That's crazy.
So if you eliminate those outliers, those lower numbers, which you believe that the floor will be higher in year 2, there won't be any of those Shane Waldron weird games where they just don't know what they're doing, the 93-yard game, and maybe there's 1 or 2.
Right.
But he has to average 213 yards a game for 17 to get to that number, 3,625. Tell me he can't do that.
I think he's going over. Again, I'm going to take it on DraftKings because you get it a little lower. But all those reasons you just mentioned, it makes so much sense. Like, I'm not necessarily worried about his numbers. I'm worried that, like, we know he's durable, but he's not going to be that durable for his whole career. So let's say he misses 3 or 4 games with a small injury. I hope it doesn't happen. You could still easily go over 3,600 yards. The worst part about all of this, and this is like me shivering in my closet because I'm a Bears fan, is like, we haven't had a 4,000-yard passer. So he would be 400 yards away from setting that kind of milestone for us, which I do believe, maybe it's not this year, hopefully it is, but he's going to do that in his career while he's here. So I like the over. I think that he's going to have a better season than maybe people are giving him credit for right now, but he is still developing. He's still developing. He's still someone that a lot of people are very high on for his talent and what he brings to the table. So I don't really believe that this is something that anyone's going to sweat. As long as he stays healthy, I think he goes over this.
The only way to play devil's advocate, which I think is important, like when you do season-long props, I think the best way to do it is to look at, here's all the reasons why I could go over, and here's all the reasons why I can't go over, and like which one has more reasons why it should or shouldn't, you know what I mean? And the only thing that you might be looking at, like aside from the fact that, it's cursed and the Bears quarterback has never thrown for 4,000 yards, is like, from what we've heard from training camp and like the install of a very complicated offense, like there's a good chance, especially with the schedule they have early in the season, Ben Johnson does rely on the run game. And you get some slower starts to the season. You're looking at it after week 4 and you're like, we're seeing passing totals of 180, slightly over 200. Like, we're not quite there yet. But if you mix in a couple games with 350 and 370, even after a slow start, you can still easily get to that number. But as it appears right now, and we'll see on Sunday night against the Bills, like what they're really going to do, there's a chance that they ease Caleb Williams into this offense, and it's not 45, 50 passing attempts per game from the jump.
For sure. All right, so we talked pass yards. Let's talk touchdowns. Over under 22.5 on FanDuel. Over under 23.5 on DraftKings. Again, you're playing this smart. You do get more value on DraftKings. It's plus 115. Minus 136 on FanDuel, depending on who you are as a bettor. I kind of like the 24 because I'm going to take the risk. 24 touchdowns does not seem unreasonable at all. I do like the comparisons you made on the passing yards front with Jared Goff. I do think this is going to be a little different situation. Jared Goff had established people to target. Laporta's a vet. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the country. Like, all of those things in one. This still feels very new, but I do think he is going to find that connection that Jared Goff may have with Amon-Ra, with someone like Luther Burden or Colston Loveland. We're already seeing reports from training camp that they're like in the mix together. So I like the over here. I promise you guys, I'm not going to take the over on every single prop.
Yeah.
That's so homer of me. But 24, over 23.5 feels like a really good number for Caleb Williams in year 2.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think there's a lot of people that are just like, the easy way to do this for the Bears and on the offensive props is like making the connection to what Ben Johnson did with the Lions and their players and how things played out those last 3 years.
Right.
And I think people are going to look at that and be like, well, like, yeah, Goff went over that touchdown total pretty much all 3 of those years. But, like, they relied on their rushers a lot.
A lot.
And, like, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery were 2 of the best running backs, probably the best running back duo in the NFL.
For sure.
Jahmyr Gibbs could be the offensive player of the year this year. David Montgomery's still really good. And, like, you just don't have that. You just don't have that level of talent in the Bears running back room. I like DeAndre Swift. I like what they have in 𝗵𝗏. Jahmyr Gibbs, like I just said, has the potential to be the best running back in the NFL.
For sure.
So I just don't think it's going to be a team that gets to the red zone and is like, we're just going to punish you with our running backs.
For sure.
I just don't think that's going to be the case. I do think they're going to want to throw the ball in the red zone. They have targets now. I mean, Cole Kmet's still a great red zone target, whether you think he's going to get more targets than Loveland or not overall. Rome Odunze, we believe, is going to blossom into that red zone guy in year 2. They're going to be creative with the way they use DJ Moore. Luther Burden could get in. And I think you'll see more explosive plays where they'll score more touchdowns outside of the red zone, which didn't happen a lot last year. So the 24... I don't want to say it seems easy because, again,
you never know.
You never know. It appears like both of those numbers are, it's not disrespectful, but it's cautious. It's cautious by the books.
Right.
It's cautious. Like, we don't know who Caleb Williams is, what you're going to get at Ben Johnson, but I feel like it's very doable.
Definitely very doable. And I think your point about the books is well taken because they can't really put a sample size on last year.
Can't.
We had 3 different coordinators at whatever point. Like, it was so sporadic and there was no direction. Like, this is the year where we find out who Caleb Williams really is.
Yeah.
So the odds that you get this year might look drastically different next year. So I do think that there's some value in taking that 23.5 on DraftKings at plus money.
20 passing touchdowns last year for Caleb.
With all of the mess that we watched, which is crazy. So I like the over. You like the over. We agree. DeAndre Swift, we'll move to the running back. Rush yards, over under 800.5. Touchdowns, over under 5.5. Both numbers only on FanDuel. You can get the rushing yards at minus 114. You can get over 5.5 touchdowns at plus 124. I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah. I'm going to sound like a homer again because I'm going over again. This number's too low. It's simply too low. I know there's not a lot of people that are high on DeAndre Swift, but look what happened in the offseason. Again, I'll say the same thing about the offensive line. Hopefully, significant improvement, at least in the interior, right? There's questions about the tackles. There's questions about Darnell Wright, who's going to be the left tackle, right? But when you talk about the running game, inside zone, you're working more in the interior. You're working with Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson, those 3 new additions, right? So that's significant. Swift last year had 959 rushing yards with that offensive line, right? And you're dropping that number down over 150 yards to 800. I mean, look, the Lions second in the NFL in rush attempts per game under Ben Johnson in 2024. They ran the ball 31 times a game. And there's no threat, really, in my opinion, for 𝗵𝗏 or Roschon Johnson to become the dominant back. Like, Swift is going to be the dominant back.
For sure.
They'll mix in 𝗵𝗏 and Roschon in the red zone and third and short situations in creative ways. But, like, as far as who's getting the load of the carries, is it not Swift?
It's definitely Swift. I'm going to leave the yards alone because when there's that big of a discrepancy, I'm always like, what does Vegas know that I don't?
Yeah.
I think DeAndre Swift did a great job of just like doing his job last year. So the numbers don't really scare me in that regard. But I do think the fact that DeAndre Swift played for Ben Johnson before they got rid of him, like, is this a situation where we get halfway through the season, if it's not going the way we want, we're giving the bulk of the carries to 𝗵𝗏? I don't know the Roschon Johnson situation. So that steep of a drop-off, I'm scared of it. I'm not going to lie. I'm leaving it alone 100%. But the touchdowns is something that's interesting to me. I feel like the number is so low. Edgar and I were talking about this the other day. I don't think he's going to be the primary focus when we get to the red zone. I think 𝗵𝗏 is someone who doesn't put the ball on the ground, has good, Ryan Poles said it this morning on the score, how they love his contact balance. He always falls forward. It seems like he's going to be, the hammer down there, right? So 6 touchdowns doesn't seem like a lot. He could get 2 rushing touchdowns in a game and be a third of the way there. But again, Vegas is very smart. They have insight on everything. The fact that it's so low makes me feel like this is something we should go under. So if I'm going to bet this, I'm going to take the under for those reasons.
Also, it's worth noting, this is rush TD, not total TD.
Right.
DeAndre Swift is a great receiving back.
100%.
They used him out as a receiver his first couple years.
He could have 6 receiving touchdowns, for sure.
And maybe not 6 rushing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of freaks me out. I'm going to leave it alone.
That's the one I'm leaving it alone as well. 100% in with you on that.
All right, so now we'll move to the rookie, Colston Loveland. I'm a big fan of his. Obviously, root for Michigan. Really, really good tight end. Really, really fun. Electric. Runs well with the ball in his hands. Over under 550.5 yards on FanDuel. We've seen how Ben Johnson likes to use tight ends. Sam Laporta was a fantasy monster for the last couple years. Do I think Colston Loveland has a chance to be that player? Sure. Do I think he's going to be that in year 1? Maybe not. I don't know how many targets we're going to get consistently because all of this is new. But 550 yards feels pretty low to me. You don't know what you're getting with a rookie. He's got to stay healthy. He's had shoulder injuries. But one thing I can say, as I watched him at Michigan, he played in a lot of games really hurt. He had to get surgery on that AC joint after the season because he wanted to keep playing. So he's tough as nails. I think he's going to be around a lot. Again, 550 yards, if he has, you're talking about 10 50-yard games.
Yeah.
I think it's over.
Come on.
I think it's over.
Yeah, be confident, Mike.
It's over.
It's over. Thank you. I'm going over too. There's a lot of question marks, I think, for Bears fans, how is he going to be used? Cole Kmet's a solid player. There's a lot of weapons on this offense. We just don't know. I think what you really have to look at is, that was not the biggest position of need in the draft.
For sure.
They went out of their way. They
wanted him.
They jumped Tyler Warren. People thought that Tyler Warren might have been the best tight end available, right, based on the Sharps and Mel Kiper.
We had graphics made for Tyler Warren.
We were ready to we were ready to press that button. It was nope, Colston Loveland coming in there. I think Ben Johnson looks at this guy and it's this is my Sam Laporta. This is who I want to be,
my
Caleb's
tight end.
𝗵𝐻 𝗟𝗄𝐿, right?
Yep.
Like the future of this team. I think he wants to build around Colston Loveland and Luther Burden, those young guys they drafted. And you make the Laporta comparison. Let's look at his rookie season, right? 889 yards and 10 touchdowns. An amazing year in Laporta's rookie season, right? And for a rookie tight end is crazy. We usually don't see that type of production from rookie tight ends. It is kind of changing. Brock Bowers just shattered everything.
He just set every record.
He set every record ever. But I really don't love taking reports from training camp and making decisions and making opinions off of training camp reports because I think it's really flawed and you just don't know. But the encouraging thing is the way that they're using him and how much production he's getting in different parts of this offense and what people are saying about his abilities as a receiver. It's this dude can play anywhere. He can run any route. He has the athleticism to do anything.
That first drive in the preseason game last week, it was 3rd and 16, and they threw it to him in the flat. It was like a tight end screen. Yeah. It's those things we never really see. They did it a couple times with Kmet, and I like Cole Kmet. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to be used very differently now that you have a guy who can literally stretch the field. He can run through the seam and score a 50-yard touchdown. We heard about it in training camp, right? So I have high hopes for Colston Loveland. I think he's going to be really good. 550.5 feels too low. So if you're putting together futures parlay, maybe with some rookies, I would put Colston Loveland in there for sure. All right, so it's touchdown numbers. Only on DraftKings, you can get 5 or more at -150, 7 or more at +280, 10 or more at +750. Now I'm kind of curious because you mentioned Sam Laporta scored 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think the sweet spot here, and 15 plus is probably not going to happen, but +4,000, just in case you want to know.
Number should be higher.
I feel like if you're going to bet on this market, the 7+ feels like a really decent value prop. +280, you're almost getting 3-to-1 value here. Again, we talked about it just before. Ben Johnson loves using tight ends. Colston Loveland has a lot of position flexibility. He can run different routes. So of those 4, which are you most likely to go towards?
Value the 7. But if I'm putting my money on it, I'm only taking the 5.
Yeah.
I think I'm scared I think I'm a little nervous about, again, what we talked about already in the red zone and like the number of weapons and how they're all going to be used, right? Like maybe they get to the red zone and it's 𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗀's turn. You know, I don't. You just don't know.
And you know, Ben Johnson's like that. It's like we're gonna get one for Cole now.
Yeah, we'll throw it to Darnell Wright. Maybe we're gonna mess around. We're gonna give.
I can't wait till we're mad as Bears fans about our props getting vultured by linemen.
Jones, Joe Thuney's gun.
Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney's got to get one, dude.
That would be absolutely. I don't know how they would make that happen as a left guard, but like, you know, we'll figure it out.
Split him out wide.
Split him out wide. But I think this is going to be a theme for me on the touchdowns as we close out this episode. It's just like I'm more confident in my yardage, you know, logic here than I am in the touchdowns because it's so random. It's so variable. It's so random. It's so opportunistic based, and like, you just don't know. It could be 7, it could be 3, especially in year one. Yeah, but overall, I love the upside on Colston Loveland, and I will say this: I know there's a lot of listeners who are also fantasy football players. Really, really good value, especially if you're in a PPR league. I think on Colston Loveland,
late in rounds for sure. Draft, so. All right, let's talk about the wideouts, and we can get out of here. DJ Moore, 975.5 yards on both FanDuel and DraftKings. You save a couple cents if you bet it on DraftKings, and his over-under for touchdowns is 6.5 on both as well. Pretty even numbers across the board. What do we think? I personally like DJ Moore a lot as a receiver, but this feels like the year that he's kind of due for a little regression.
Yeah, this one I think I'm staying away from. I don't want to touch this one. People are going to look last year. Okay, he had 966 yards last year, right? He's right there. Again, the same logic that we've used for everything else as far as better offensive play caller. If Caleb's production goes up, so should DJ's. I just don't know if it's that easy of a correlation because of the weapons they have on offense right now. Like, it's not like, oh, if Caleb throws for 4,000, DJ's obviously going to go up like 100 or 200 yards. Like, we just don't know. And I think some of the interesting things about what we've been hearing from training camp is like the way they want to use DJ as well. He might not be like the reliable target on every single down, but they're going to use him in a really creative way. He's getting reps out of the backfield. Maybe he's a Deebo Samuel type.
Yeah, Shaps made that point on the charter. Like, I really did like when I heard that because we've seen DJ Moore take end arounds and stuff like that.
Yes.
He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. So this could be a situation where they use him in way different ways, and he's not going to just be possession receiver, right? They have Luther Burden for down the field. They have Rome Odunze for the red zone. Like, so I agree with you. I'm staying away from all DJ Moore props. I really hope he has a good year. I know that there's a lot of discussion on like where he is in relation to this team in the future, but he's a great player. He's been through a lot of hard times here. I really hope that we as fans continue to just like support him the way he's like given to us because I like him a lot. I think that he's really good, and I also think this might be the best roster he's played on.
In his career?
In his career. Like, he had a couple years there with Cam in
Carolina
that they were really good, but for him, at this point in his career, this feels like this is as close as he's going to get unless he gets traded to an absolute contender.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing about, like, if you want to, maybe you're not comfortable at the season long with DJ, but, like, on a week-to-week basis, you're like, okay, how do I, like, get involved if I do want to bet on him?
Yeah.
It's receptions,
For
right?
sure.
Like, that was kind of a thing last year, too, is, like, I think the Bears and I think these coaches recognize DJ's best ability is what he does after the ball is in his hands. So how can we get him the ball in his hands? Easy screens, easy slants, easy outs, digs, all the short stuff that we just let him get the ball
and see what he does.
That's right? Awesome. So, looking at receptions for that. So, staying away from that number, though. But, yeah, really hoping for DJ to have a year.
And then finally, one of my favorite players to talk about on the Bears. Pretty quiet, I think, this offseason, but Rome Odunze, receiving yards is at 850.5 on FanDuel. I would leave that alone because you can get 800.5 on DraftKings for basically the same price at -120. His receiving touchdowns total is at 5.5 as well. Pretty even odds on both. This feels like the year of Rome, in my opinion, which is one of the reasons why I'm staying away from DJ. DJ is going to get a lot of the headlines. Rome is more quiet. Like, you don't really hear from him that much. In the game, I think it was against San Francisco when we were like getting blown out last year. The two highlights were the two catches by Rome Odunze. And you got to see he can jump over, he can moss people and catch touchdowns. So maybe it's not the yards because I do think they have to like spread, they're going to have to spread the ball around quite a bit. Like, I don't think any one person in this offense is going to be the go-to guy, which is a good thing. But 6 touchdowns, you can do it in a ton of ways with Rome. He's big. He has that jumping ability. He's got sure hands. He does contested catches. All of those reasons, when you think about what you need in the red zone, all of those things are important, right? And he does have the speed to take it to the house on a 40, 50-yard slant, whatever it is. So I like the over on his touchdown total. I'll be taking that on DraftKings. Over 5.5 seems like a fun number to track. This is something where he also has had games where he scored multiple touchdowns already. So it's not like there's precedent, right? He can get it done. And for a number that feels low, but know you have a lot of targets, like I'm going to put my money on Rome versus someone like DJ Moore, and obviously no props on Luther Burden yet.
I need those props on Luther Burden. I'm with you, right? We saw a report yesterday, right? Big day for Rome and Caleb. Rome was our daily standout per 𝗪cie 𝗰𝗶𝗹, who's watching every moment, every second of Bears practice. And he said that he was there in every situation. I think, like, you look back last year, and there was a couple moments, like I remember the 4th down against Green Bay in the first game of the season where they lost in the missed field goal. It was 4th and like 8. The play where Tom Brady goes, "Ow!"
Yeah.
And
I was at that game. I'm like, dude, we're gonna win.
He just kind of threw it up to Rome, and he was like, I have trust in you. And if you're looking for that guy who is the reliable target, because as much as you want to believe, like, yeah, they'll spread the ball around, but like, push comes to shove, you're
gonna go to your guys.
Like, who's your guy, right? Like Burrow has Ja'Marr.
Right.
J.J. McCarthy now has Justin Jefferson, right? Like, you kind of have to have your guy that you're most comfortable with. Jared Goff has Amon-Ra. I think that guy could be Luther Burden, but until we see
figure that out,
action, it's going to be Rome Odunze. So I think if you're looking at that correlation that I talked about where, okay, Caleb's passing production goes up, who is the beneficiary of that? Who's the benefactor? It's going to be, I think, Rome more than anybody. So I'm comfortable with those numbers. I just, again, am like cautious on the touchdowns. But 5.5 makes sense based off the numbers we had last year. I think one other thing, too, that people are going to look at, and it's just going to happen until the season starts, is like, who is their Amon-Ra St. Brown? Who's the comparison from the Lions? Like, no, I mean, seriously, because the way they used him, and like, Rome is a very, very different player from Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I think Luther Burden actually fits that role more than Rome does. And like, the fact that they drafted who they drafted, there's people that are coming to the conclusion that maybe Ben Johnson is unsure about what Rome's role is in this offense. And that's why they reached to get Luther Burden. That's why they decided to take a very good receiving pass catcher at tight end.
But if they're both good,
it's
you
feasible.
Have wide receiver 1 and 2 for the next 12
years. Right.
That's like real, like that.
Yes, this is great
As
news.
a Bears fan, we have wide receivers that we've loved from like lore, from like stories, right?
Yeah.
Like the Johnny Knox stuff. Like, that's no one's favorite wide receiver in Bears history, but he had so much potential. Like Brandon Marshall, really good here, really good connection with 𝗁cie. Like, all those little things. But like, I don't think I've ever been like, 1 or 2 of our guys are like the guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't had many of them.
Haven't had it.
So if Luther Burden and Rome Odunze are like the framework of what that could be, we're talking about a completely different outlook on the Bears for the next 12 to 15 years.
Yes.
Because we have guys.
Yes.
It's nice to have guys.
It's pretty nice.
It's cool. Guys. Like, you have potential, and they have the size, and they have the intangibles, or whatever you want to say. Like, it's just nice to have a roster that's like, I could see the vision, dude.
Right.
We could see from the paper and what we're hearing in training camp, like, if they're coached up correctly, if they buy in, this could be a team that's really fun in the future. And that's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
I don't want anything else.
Yeah, you want to have that Lions type of team where, like, okay, you have the nucleus, you have your guys, and I think the Bears are in the midst of finding that with Burden, Odunze, and Colston as like the big 3
for sure
that they'll build around this offense. So I will say, if we ever do you think we'll get Luther Burden numbers before the season, or you think that's not
probably not
going to come out at all?
But that's an advantage for us. Like, I'm going to bet 25 receiving yards the first game, and it might be plus money.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be plus money. He's going to get it all in one catch.
Yeah. This is real quick. Can we do
this
real quick? Like, this is Luther Burden has the potential to be the best player on offense at receiver. I'm 100%.
This is the biggest Luther Burden the third fan.
I watched
in Chicago.
this guy in college. All right, he's got everything you want out of a receiver. The way he moves reminds me a lot of Ja'Marr Chase, and he is nowhere near the talent level of Ja'Marr Chase. Because Ja'Marr Chase, I legit could could end up being one of the best receivers in NFL history, maybe a top 3 receiver in NFL history. But like the way he moves, the way he's used, like he has a lot of those same attributes. And the things you're hearing out of camp with him missing the first week and some of that mini camp, you heard the report from Jordan Schultz that the Bears coaches are blown away.
He's getting it.
And he's getting it. He's understanding it. Like, if this guy has the potential to be that good and be that reliable target, and I think you'll see a little bit of it on Sunday night in that Bears-Bills game, and that'll be a big tell. But on a week-to-week basis, look for Luther Burden. I think there is a reason.
The props will be there.
They will be there, and I'm telling you, there's a reason they drafted him where they did.
Yeah.
They had zero business drafting him. No business drafting him.
He was there.
And he was there, and they were like, you know what?
We got to do it.
We have absolutely no choice, and he's going to be better than what he was drafted at. We don't know why he fell. Amon-Ra St. Brown was also drafted in the second round, or was he later? He might have been third. I'll take that back. I think he might have been third.
I don't remember.
But I'm just telling you, the comparisons are there.
It's
Okay,
like
I digress.
I digress. Luther Burden is like the last beer in the fridge. Yeah. He's there. Got to do it.
All right, let's hear your parlay. Let's go.
All right, the parlay, and then we'll get out of here. Season-long props. I'm putting in Caleb 23.5 touchdowns over. And then the other 2 legs, Josh Allen, over 10.5 rushing touchdowns. It's kind of scary. You got to sweat if you want a good bet. And then finally, Trey McBride, over 4.5 touchdowns. This is a guy.
Is that ladder?
That's literally his number right now. But he only scored 1 touchdown last year, so people are like, well, Kyler Murray loves Trey McBride. He had crazy amount of targets in the red zone. He just couldn't get one done. So I like Caleb's over. Caleb 23.5 touchdowns over. I like Josh Allen rushing touchdowns over. They need to figure out their version of the tush push. And Trey McBride, that's 3 legs plus 655. You can have a boost on DraftKings where I bet it. Got it up to plus 819, $25 to win, $230. Tell me why this is gonna not cash, so I can feel like I feel like this is cashing.
Yeah.
So tell me give me one reason why it might not. And don't say injuries because I know that.
Injuries? No. Yeah. The Trey McBride thing, I'm kind of on board with you. The only thing is like you might get a superstar season from Marvin Harrison, and I think he's on
track. This is the Ohio State coming out, dude.
I'm sorry, but
superstar season.
Bulked
he's
up this
offseason.
He's really good. He's going to be their threat. Maybe he's just the target, and like that trend with the red zone and consistency with McBride continues. I think with Josh Allen, like. The opportunities are going to be there. Like
he's so much fun,
He's
bro.
so much fun. He's going to be the MVP mix again. We know James Cook just got the extension. Maybe that's the thing you're worried about is maybe he gets more targets in the red zone, and maybe it's just like, well, there's one game where Cook scores 3 and Josh scores none, and like that, those red zone plays don't happen.
Don't tell me this.
I'm trying to give you. You asked for it.
I did.
But I mean, 10.5 is a big number for anybody. But I'm in on your parlay. I like it. I like where you're going with it. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the only thing that might take away the touchdowns from Trey McBride. That's it.
All right, so over 23.5 touchdowns for Caleb, over 10.5 touchdowns for Josh Allen. Those are rushing touchdowns. And over 4.5 touchdowns receiving for Trey McBride. Plus 819 on DraftKings. Tail it if you're feeling it. All right, we were going to talk Coach of the Year. I'm just going to do this quickly.
Okay.
Because this is a PSA. I bet Matt Nagy to win Coach of the Year. I bet Matt Eberflus to win Coach of the Year. Do not bet Ben Johnson to win Coach of the Year. There's no value on it. It's less than 10-1. Anytime this number comes up, I'm like, God. They just forget that, like, we're the Bears. Like, we're still the Bears. But this is also one of the reasons why people do bet it. Because the league wants nothing more than prop up the Bears. So if it's my money, I would just stay away. Don't put yourself through it. Ben Johnson's not getting fired. I made the mistake of betting Eberflus like an idiot, and then he got canned in week 6 or whatever it was. Like, I would stay away. I'm assuming by the face you're making, you've already bet it.
I haven't. The only thing I'll say is this. I think it's as easy as if they make the playoffs, he wins. I think it's that easy. The Bears make the playoffs, he wins the award.
That was the logic I used with Eberflus too, though.
Unless they're like 9-8 and they sneak in.
But I agree. I think these are voted on. It's like a popularity contest deal.
Is.
Ben Johnson is like super front facing. I think Peter Schrager called him the most important man in the NFL or someone.
Interesting. Yeah.
Or most interesting.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Whatever it was, like the notoriety will be there. You just need them to have, like they have to make the playoffs, I feel like, comfortably.
Like otherwise, you gotta win the division.
Like if they can win the division, he'll win the award.
Or like you're 11-6 and like
right. If you're the second team out, like fine. But otherwise, it just doesn't feel like a smart bet because we just haven't played well enough.
The season Matt Nagy won it, the Bears were 12-4 and won a division.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the bar. That's the bar. I think.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends.
And I didn't bet him the year that he won it.
12 wins? Well,
the Bears, I don't think are going to win 12 games. If they win 9 games and like make a wild card, I'll be thrilled.
He's not winning the award if that happens.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But like who? Like say the Jaguars win 10 games and the Bears win 10 games. They both make the playoffs. They're choosing Ben Johnson over Liam Cohen. Like that's just what's going to happen. Like there is there's a big market. There's a big market aspect to this. You're right.
It definitely is.
Vrabel's the scary one.
Vrabel's a scary one.
Win.
The narrative of him going back to New England, if they actually play well and like compete in the division, like that's someone I think that they would give it to.
I would love to see the correlation between Coach of the Year and how many wins they had.
Yeah,
I can dive in on that.
It's not like most improved. If it's just you know, if it's like they have to win. 11 minimum. 12, like ideally.
It's usually a higher number, but there is a favor towards first-year head coaches because the bar is so low.
It's a good point. You also have to protect yourself against like if let's say they do finish 4th in the division, like there's 3 coaches in the division that could win. Yeah. You know, like they could
the Bears division.
They could win 9 games and still come in 4th.
If the Vikings win 13 games with J.J. McCartney,
O'Connell's getting it for that.
You want an example, Edgar? 2022, Brian Daboll, 9-7-1. The New York Giants were that year. That was the year they went into the playoffs, and they won that playoff game against Minnesota, I believe.
Yep.
Right? 9-7-1. So you had a team that had 9 wins and a tie that year, and he won the Coach of the Year.
Outside of that, I don't see any 9s.
It didn't happen. There was no 9s until 1982. A lot of 10s.
I was -8.
Stefanski, Browns 11-6 in 2023, right? And like,
so you got to get to at least 10 wins to like be
in the conversation,
right?
There hasn't been a 10-win winner since 2009, excluding the 2022 Giants.
But if you do want a crazy swing, Dennis Allen, there is a market on FanDuel for AP Assistant Coach of the Year, 33-1 odds. I'm getting Buddy Ryan vibes, dude. You remember? I don't remember because I wasn't alive, but I watched the 85 Bears documentary, and they were like, the defense played in spite of the offense, and they were nasty. This dude's been a head coach recently. The defense can be a strength. We're hearing all about how physical the defense is. It's a completely different look. If you're going to take a swing on any coach award, and you're a Bears fan, and you're a Bears homer, throw $10 on Dennis Allen to win AP Assistant Coach of the Year, because that I don't think necessarily has anything to do with the wins and losses. Obviously, it will help, but if the Bears end up being a top 5 defense and they win 9 games, he's going to be in the discussion for sure.
And this is offensive, defensive combined in this award.
Yeah, just any assistant coach.
They got to make the playoffs for him to win this award. I think
it would definitely help.
Yeah.
But they were like not very good last year, and people thought that the defense was going to be better.
Yeah.
So there are narratives around it. I would say don't bet anything at plus 700 for a season-long award. If you want to take a swing, 33-1 is fun odds. $10 wins 330.
I almost asked who won last year, and obviously we know the answer to that question.
It was our head coach, Ben Johnson.
How about the year before that? If you can tell me who won, Edgar, you're in on this too. If you can tell me who won the AP NFL Assistant Coach of the Year in 2023, I will give you $100 right now. You have.
Give me the division. Can I have the division?
With $100 on the line?
Can I have the conference?
Can I have the conference? AFC, but we're taking the $100 off because it's a hint. AFC.
Who was really good defensively?
This is impossible. You're never going to get this. This is unbelievable.
The Ravens were really good, but I don't know who their assistant
You're in the right division.
Oh, but he would have told me I had the team if I. What's the old guy, the viejito that used to work for? He used to coach the Lions. I think he was the head coach of the Lions. Dude, he's like crazy. Like he was on Hard Knocks once too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Was
close.
it the Browns assistant coach?
Yes.
Because that was when Baker had
Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
Jim Schwartz. So it was like that year, like the Browns cleaned up. Like Stefanski won Coach of the Year, Schwartz won Defensive or Assistant
All right,
Coach of
so
the
we go Super Bowl.
We're splitting the $100, right?
Yeah, 50 each.
Isn't that Jim Schwartz? That's pretty impressive. You got there. I don't think I would have got there. If
Team
I
effort,
know.
dude. Team effort.
Crazy.
Ball knowers.
Ball knowers.
All right, this has been really fun. Again, welcome Kevin Lapka to Respect Coin. This has been a blast. We're gonna have so much fun. Again, hit us up. Let us know what you think of the bets. Let us know what you guys are taking. We'll be putting out content throughout the football season, but we're locked in on Chicago-specific props. We're locked in on Bears. We're not very far away from Bulls, not very far away from Blackhawks, all that fun stuff. But football is right around the corner. Win some money. As always, gotta respect coin.